I wanted to talk a little bit about videos, just briefly. And I'm trying that new approach. Maybe they're not all as short as I wanted them to be, but there are 3 or 4 videos for each section. And then what I've done in one video is pose problems and then have another video where I do the solutions. And it's me writing on paper and filming that. The camera that I used for the first 2 videos weren't great, so I switched to a different method for the 3rd video, and that seems to be much better. So I'd be interested. You could do it now, either verbally, orally, or you can do it via chat, private or public, or email. But I'd be curious to know at the end of this week, or even get some feedback now, what you think of whether you like the new videos approach better, or whether I should go back to the old approach. And I'll probably end up having a survey, because that's the best way to do it. But if anybody has comments now, I welcome those. I'm also publishing the slides. They're still there, as always. And then the other professor is making videos. Yeah, I agree. Someone said the quality was hard. I think the 3rd one should be better. I think it's a better better quality. But I'll be mindful of that. Okay. So the slides are still up if you want to use those. And then the other professor, he's making sort of the kind of videos that I made. And so you can look at his videos. They're optional. I don't want you to get bogged down and spending hours and hours looking at videos, but they're optional if you want to look at those. Okay. And again, I'll have some kind of formal feedback just because I want to get this right. And it may not be that one thing works for everybody. Okay. So again, the slides are still there, like I said, and then we still have the quizzes, and then you can look at those other Professor Akbuga's videos are optional. Okay. And again, I'm trying to get this right, so any suggestions you have, just let me know. Okay, and I talked about WebAssign. I'll have the new one up later today. And that will cover what we did on Thursday, so 1.7, 1.9, and 2.1. It'll be due at the usual time, so Sunday at 11:50. I can't make it Sunday midnight, so it's 11:59. Okay, and there won't be one next week. Okay, so I'm just checking my announcements. I think that is everything. And I wanted to introduce the material, but before I start getting into the math, just want to see if there's any questions. And again, you can shoot those out through a chat, or you can speak. So even though we're not doing 2.2 today, I want to provide like the big picture. And 2.2 is about polynomials. And I think it helps to understand what we've been doing, and it'll help, I think, a little bit with next week. And a polynomial is something that looks like this. And I'll give you an example. This is just going to be notation for a while, and then I'll give you what I mean.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Ooh, somebody needs to mute. And here's an example. Okay, so in this case, this would be A5, just so you know the notation. This would be A2, the number that's in front of the square. So the coefficient, when you write it this way, it matches the exponent. That would be A1, and that would be A0. Now notice that there's no 4th power or 3rd power, so those coefficients would be 0. And then the highest exponent is the degree, So in my example, the degree is 5, because that's the highest exponent. And the leading coefficient is the number in front of the highest exponent. So if I look here, the leading coefficient would be a 5, which is equal to 3. And we'll see later that it's going to be important. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. I apologize. You'll see later that the leading coefficient, which is this 3, it's positive, and that's going to matter. Okay. So the general topic, really what we're talking about, is polynomials. And then I'm going to relate it to what we've been covering in a second. But before I go to a new page, just want to see if there's any questions. And again, I go through all the notation in the video for 2.2. Okay. So the polynomials just have a couple of important properties, and I just want to sort of list them, that all exponents are positive whole numbers, so no roots. Their graphs are continuous and smooth. Again, that's not so important in terms of like being tested or quizzed on it, but it's just a property that the graphs are, that the graphs, when you graph a polynomial, again, we'll talk a little bit about this in the video for next class, the graphs are always going to be smooth and without any corners or anything. So there's no breaks or corners. And we've seen already, we have a line, and it's really a linear polynomial. We typically write a line like this. And then if you write it using that notation I just used, which the m would be the leading coefficient, the one in front of the x, and the b, the y-intercept, would be that constant right here, the a0. Again, don't really use that for lines. And the degree here is 1, because that's the highest exponent. And then we have, which is what today is about, is quadratic polynomials. And they look like this. And again, using this is a degree 2 polynomial. And this would be A2, that would be A1 in the notation, that would be A0 in the notation. But again, we really don't use that notation here, because this m is specific, m is the slope, so it gets special notation, and b is the y-intercept. So we give it that special notation. And then here we keep A, B, and C because of the quadratic formula that we use to solve this equaling 0. And again, I'll go into more detail about this. So we're so used to using this formula that we just keep the special notation. So I consider these two things to be special polynomials. And again, this is what chapter 1 was mostly about, not entirely. And this is what 2.1 is about, quadratics, what we're going to do today. That's kind of the big picture. So questions on any of that? Okay. So today is handout 9. And I'll give you a second to pull that out, because I just wanted to introduce the first question. And then I'll form the groups. So I'll give you a second to pull that up. I'm not gonna go through question one. I kind of go over that on the video, and I thought it would be useful, but I think it's too heavy algebra, and I'm not sure that the payoff is really what I thought it might be. So you don't need to do one. So you can skip, sorry, that says slip. Skip number one. So just cross it out. But I want to give an overview, is that you can write a quadratic in two ways. And again, I went over this in the video in detail, and these are the same thing. So they're exactly the same quadratic, they're just written in a different way. And what I did in the video is I square this out and show you how the coefficients here correspond to the coefficients there. And what we got from that was we got a formula for h, and I'll tell you why you use this in a second. And h is going to be b over minus 2a, and then k is equal to c minus a h squared. So that's what that k is equal to, and that's what that h here is equal to. And generally you get this by completing the square, but you can use these formulas to get them, and you don't have to bother to complete the square. So what my purpose was rather than have you complete the square to get this, was to go through this, compare these two things in the video, and then you see what the formula for h and k are. And the reason h and k are so important, because if the parabola is shaped like this, that low point is going to have h and k as the coordinates. That's called the vertex. And that happens if a is greater than 0. So that means the parabola is shooting up when a is equal to 0. And then the other one would be, if the parabola looks like that, that would also be hk. And you know the graph looks like this if a is less than 0. Okay. This is stuff I went over in the video, but I just wanted to kind of go over it now. Okay. So that's the overview. So if you have any questions, let me know. And then otherwise, I'm going to break you into groups. I just kind of wanted to give you the big picture. Okay, and again, I'll say this to everybody. I'll shoot it out in the chat, is that skip number one. Like I say, I don't really think it's worth it. I thought when I wrote it, but then thinking about it later, I decided it wasn't. Okay, I'm going to form the groups, and if you have a question in the meantime, let me know. Oops, I do not see my group button. I think I know where it is. No, like I'm not seeing the mess. I'm not seeing the key to form groups. So let me try one more thing. I'm not going to spend too much time. If this doesn't work, I'm just going to let you work on that in class as you, oh, here, it finally showed up. Okay, here we are, good. Okay, I got the breakout rooms. I'm just doing the math real quickly. Yeah, so we'll have 8 rooms because there's 31 people here. Yep, okay. I might make an adjustment really quickly in case, because Sam and I get assigned to rooms, and that can, so one room usually gets too many people, so. Okay. Here we go. So I'll open up the rooms. Hi,
Professor
Trinity.
Allen.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sam.
I was just gonna say, you didn't have the ability to make breakout rooms right away because I joined the Zoom before you today, so it made me the host.
Oh, I
So
see.
I just had to transfer it back to you.
That's funny. Okay, that's never happened before. Okay, so okay, thank you for, because all of a sudden it appeared again, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, no worries. That's funny.
Can you see me as co-host, or does you maybe to do that?
I didn't want to make you I do want to make you co-host just because it gives you that extra power.
Yeah. Do you want to? Because if I'm not co-host, I can't jump between rooms.
Oh, you
I
said,
don't know if I am or
oh,
not.
you made yourself not co-host anymore. Got it.
I think I accidentally did that. Yeah.
Yep. Let me go and I think I just have to find you and do it. So let's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make you co-host. Okay, there you go. I see. Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Okay.
Which way do you want to start, front or back?
I'm starting at number 5 right now, so I can start at the back.
Okay, so we'll start from the middle. Yep. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start at number 1 and just kind of go forward so you can. Yep. Okay. Okay, so just checking in, and I'll check in later again as well. So again, I don't do number 1 unless you feel like doing it later. Any questions?
For now, no, I do not have any questions.
Okay. And again, I didn't, the quadratic one, I didn't really answer that in the video. So it's kind of a thing, I'm giving you a think question to think about what the range would be. The domain, I hope, is pretty clear what that is, but the range, I want you to think about that. And then I'll come back to that if you have questions.
Okay.
Okay, so just let me know if you have questions, and I will see you later. Yep.
Thank you.
After I unmute myself.
Professor. Oh,
Yeah, I was muted. Okay. So questions about anything? For number 2, I didn't really answer that in the video on purpose. So I kind of want you to think about what your answer there would be. The domain, I think that's going to be probably pretty clear. We've talked about that, but think about what the range is. Okay. And other, oh.
I just said okay.
Oh, okay, okay, good. Okay, so any questions? Are you good? Oh,
I don't have any right now. Does anyone else?
I'm good.
okie doke. I'll see you later.
Okay.
the coordinates for them.
I didn't yet.
Mr. Alexander, I am very confused on how to use the second formula with the H and the K.
You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Professor, you're muted.
Yeah, it's auto muting me. Sorry. Which problem? Do you have a particular problem or just in general?
Just in general, like that whole entire formula, like I learned polynomials in high school, and
Yeah.
the ax squared plus bx plus c is like, I get that. It's the other formula that I have no idea how to use.
I'm not sure, because the formulas I'm thinking of, the one where it's a minus x squared. And then
It would be the yeah, a x minus h squared.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me, do you want me to write on this sheet? Because I can erase it. Or do you want just a fresh screen? I was going to annotate.
Fresh screen would work, because I just.
Okay, I'll let you and whoever set that up share. I'll let you one share it. Good. Okay. Okay. So let me set up the whiteboard. Okay, so this is what the question is about. Is it understanding this form?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So let me give you an overview here. So the key is that you can get the vertex by looking at whatever h and k are. And I'll explain why that is. Okay.
And how do we find h and k again?
Ah, okay, good. So you want to know, not good, but I want to understand, I'm understanding better what the problem is. So here, so let's start with h is going to be equal to, if you have the formula, this version of it, you know, where you're just given a formula. I'll give you an example in a second. So you're given, let's say we have y is equal to 2x squared minus 6x plus 1. Okay. So this would be, my a would be equal to 2.
Mm-hmm.
My b is minus 6. So this is the form you'd use like if you had the quadratic formula. Okay. So first you see what a, b, and c are. Okay. And then now you need to find h. Well, h has this formula, b minus 2a. And so I would look over here and see, oh, okay, well, b is minus 6. And then a is going to be 2. I get that from here. So I would get, looks to me like minus 6 over minus 4, or 3/2. Is this helping?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then k would be, again, we have a formula for k, is going to be equal to c minus a h squared. And so again, I would look over, well, here's my a, so here's my c, 1. A is 2, and then h squared would be minus 6 squared. I'm sorry, that's wrong. I'm looking at the wrong formula. H we saw was 3/2. I was just on autopilot for a second, not thinking. Sorry about that. And so then I can figure that out from there. I get 1 minus 2 times 9 over 4 when I square it. So I cancel that and I get 9/2 here. So I get 1 minus 4/2, so I would end up with minus 3/2. I'm sorry, minus 3 1/2 or minus 7/2. Okay. And then that would tell me that this is equal to 2, the same A. And then x minus h, we saw was 3/2. And then I saw my k over here, plus k, so I get minus 7/2. So that would tell me how to go from this form over here to this one over here. Does that answer your question? Does that help?
Yeah, and then based off that, you can find the vertex.
Yeah, the vertex, you actually know the vertex. You may not even need to go that far, but once you get this, we know that that's the vertex. So I'll do the graph over here. So the vertex is going to be 3/2 x coordinate minus 7/2. And then which way does the graph go, up or down?
It goes up.
And that's because A is positive.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know much more about the graph, and we'll figure out more, but it's going to go like this. And then the origin would be somewhere around in here. Maybe down here. Because I notice here, if I plug in, can you see what the y-intercept is from this version over here?
The y-intercept is just 1.
Right. So again, so I would then put the y-intercept again. I'm just, it just has to be a rough sketch. And then I would draw my axes like that.
All right.
And I'm drawing it just to show that it's below the x-axis. Okay. And so in this case, that would be a minimum, the vertex, because it's the low point.
Yes.
Okay. What would the range of this graph be? So what are the possible y values?
Isn't it negative infinity to infinity?
That would be the domain. Those numbers are the ones that I can plug in. But what are the y? What's the lowest y value?
Oh, -7.
Right.
Halves.
And then it goes off to infinity. These keep going up and up and up, and they don't stop.
So that's the range is -7.
Right.
Or bracket -7 halves infinity front or
Yes.
yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
the range would be, the way I figure out the range is I go over here to the y-axis, and this is all, the y's are the range, so it's everything above 7/2. Okay. Now the way that I knew this formula was what I was going to do in the first problem, is that I square everything out here, and then I get h in my formula, and then I compare the coefficient that has h in it to b, and that's how I get the answer. That's how I figured out what that formula was.
Okay.
And you can also get it by completing the square, but I was trying to do it a way where you didn't have to complete the square. But if you know how to do that, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So questions about that? Does that answer the question that you had?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay. Anybody else? I have a question from another group, but if anybody else has a question, I can answer that first. Okay, so I'll stop the share, and then, unless you want me to leave it up. No, I think I'll stop it because you might have a hard time stopping it. Okay, okay, so I'll see you in a bit. I'll check back in later. Okay, see you later. Hello, I saw that there was a question from the group.
Yeah, I had a question about 6 and how we'd go about writing the equation for quadratic.
Okay.
With the given.
Okay, so you're given the I'm going to share the screen and use the whiteboard. So you're given the vertex, right? The vertex is 2, 3.
I think it was, yeah, it's 2, 3, and y-intercept 0, 2.
Right. So since I'm given the vertex, I'm going to use the form of the quadratic that has h and k.
Mm-hmm.
So then I know my formula looks like this. The one with the vertex in it. But now I know what h and k are, so I can plug those in. H is 2 and k is 3. Okay. But I still don't know what a is, right?
Right.
So now I can plug in this point right here. X is 0 and y is 2. So now I can plug in 2. That's equal to a, sorry, there's a square here. 0 minus 2 squared. Plus 3. Now, am I able to solve that for a?
Yes.
Yeah. So the idea is you have enough information to figure out there's 3 things that you need for the line, a, h, and k. This gives you 2 of them right here when I tell you what the vertex is.
Okay.
And then you have to plug in this point to find a.
Okay.
Okay.
So we use that formula and we plug in the given numbers and then we'll be able to find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I always start with h because that gets rid of these right away. And then so I always do this one first.
Exactly, yeah.
And then I do that one second. Though I suppose you could probably do it the other way around. But I think it's easier that way.
Awesome.
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Alexander.
You're welcome, Henry.
Thank you.
Other questions, or are you all good? I'm happy to stick around if there are.
Other than that, I'm good. I don't know if my classmates have any.
I'm good for now. I'll call you in
We're
if I
good.
need one. Oh, I think we'll all on the same page.
Okay, perfect, good. And it looks like you're making lots of progress. So let me know when you're done. You only have, looks like a couple left. So, okay. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, bye-bye. Sorry, I was muted. Just checking in, see how you all are doing, if you have any questions.
I'm good so
I
far.
can't hear you.
Yeah, doing good.
Okay, so everything good?
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. So just let me know if you have questions. I'm gonna go visit another room.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, bye-bye. Hi, everybody. I'm just checking in to see how you're doing.
I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, if there's no questions, I'll leave and see you back. But see you later. I mean, but let me know what number are you working on?
I'm on 7, but I skipped number 6
Okay.
because I wasn't sure how to do that one.
Okay.
I'm on 6 right now too.
Okay. Good. So I'll let you try to work out 6. But if you have questions about 6, bring me back, or I can actually do it now if you want. It's up to you all.
Can we go over it?
Yeah. I'd be happy to. Okay. Okay, so for number 6, you're given HK, the vertex. And what is that? 2, 3. And then we're given another point, XY. It happens to be the intercept, but it could be random, but. So that's what we're given. Okay. Now we need an equation. And remember, you have 2 choices. You have the ax squared plus bx plus c form, or you have the other form, which gives you the vertex. So which form do you think would be the useful one to start with? And you should be thinking, can I get rid of any of the variables? So again, you can find either of these equations. Which one do you think would be the best one to start with? And you want to think about what information you're given.
It would be the top one.
Yeah, because you're given what H, you know what H is and you know what K is. So again, okay, so not gonna worry about that one. Either one is good. I'm gonna go to this one. And I see right away that I can plug in the vertex. I can plug in H. H is 2, square it. And then K is 3. Okay. Now, so I've used this piece of information, so probably I'm going to have to use this one. And any ideas on what to do next? I need to find A, because there's 3 letters that I need to find out information about, A, H, and K, and I know 2 of them, so I need to figure out what A is. So any ideas on how to find A? And think about what you're given.
We plug in the coordinates.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then you could say, well, Y is 1. That's E, and then you're gonna do this. You may not, maybe it won't work, but at least it's trying something, and that's what matters. So you plug it in, don't worry about it until you're done. And then I'm gonna ask, do we have enough information to find A now? So can you solve this equation right here? It's a bunch of numbers with one unknown. That's a linear equation. And so the equation is going to look like this. 1 equals A. You square out the 2 minus 2 and you get 4 plus 3. So you can solve that for A. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was thinking of like bringing the 1, somehow bringing it into the equation and then putting the A out, so then you have an outside variable and then you can just have it equal to, like, I'm thinking of like factoring.
Yeah, that might be overcomplicating it if I'm getting what you're saying. I kind of look at it that I have 3 things I need to figure out to know what the equation is.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them's H, one of them's K, and one of them's A. I see right away that vertex gives me 2 of them. Okay. So let's call this the vertex. I think the book calls it the standard form. I like the vertex form. And you know how to, and because you're given the vertex, you know to use this, not that. You didn't know to use this one, not that one. Okay. So any questions about this or anything else?
No.
Okay. And are you good with that one? And the next one? I mean, 6B then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, how'd you get Y as 1?
Oh, because this is the given Good question. What should it be?
2.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just was one of those things. I apologize. I just wrote it wrong. And I apologize. Yeah, there we go. Okie doke. Good question. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
So,
you.
if you have other questions, just let me know.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So I'll stop the share. Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Because like there's a minus sign in front of the 4, so I'm assuming that's still -3.
Yeah, so what I did, I just did -3 times 2, -6.
Okay, times 4.
6 times the 4 is -24. But if then it's minus -24, so it's plus.
Okay,
So we do get a positive number.
so 1 over
And it's
-6.
24, so it's 7. 7 is our big square root number, what that comes out to be.
25 minus 24?
No, 25 plus 24.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. So 49. And then,
Yep. And then the square root of 49 is 7.
yes, 5 plus or minus root 7 over -6. Then what do we do after this?
So then you have -5, because that's the negative b, plus
Oh, yeah.
7 all over 2a, so it's -6 is on the bottom. So it's
Okay, sorry.
Hello. So sorry that I saw there was a question. Or that somebody wanted to talk.
Hi, I was just wondering, like, what are we doing something like after this?
Oh, your volume was fading just a little bit. Sorry. Could you say that again?
Are we doing something
Oh.
after this?
No. I was going to say, are you done?
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. It's, for some reason, the volume's it's not coming through.
So we're done. I'll just type it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, you're done. Yeah. No, I kind of did it before class, so you're free to go. And if you have any questions, you can stick around. But if you're done, then feel free to go.
Yeah, I got a question about the project.
Okay.
But I mean, I think the whole group is going to talk to you about it, though.
Okay, that's good. I can, if you want to ask now. Are you in the same group as Stone? I can't remember. Or you're a different group?
As who?
Stone.
No, he's in a different group.
Okay.
But I got a question about that
Okay.
too.
Okay.
I was in a group with like Sammy and Amanda.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. So if you both have questions about that, I don't think, let's see. But no one's asking me any questions right now. So if you want to, if you wanted to wait until later, you could, or we could try now.
I mean, I don't know. You sent the email saying about the revised, but
Yeah.
for the I mean, I guess I was just really confused on how to do the cumulative graph. Was that what it's called?
Yeah. So let me share the project. I have to find it and then I can share it. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So give me a second to do that. I think this is it. Are you seeing the project?
Yeah. So especially for like number 5.
Number 5, you said?
Yeah, like number 5 and 6.
Yeah, okay. So here's what I did. Let's look at number 4 first, is that I gave you the cumulative data for 2016. And then the way I got this is that for 167, here, let me annotate. What I did is I said, well, 167 is going to be equal to January, which is 81, plus the February. Because what that 167 means is those are the number of killings at the end of February. So I go 81, and then I have to go back up and look to see how I got that. I got that from here, so I look up, oops, I need to scroll. So I look here, we were in 2016, so I see that February was 86. So I keep that in mind. And so this one would be, let me erase this. It would be 81, and then I saw that February, I think I said was 86, I forgot, but let's say it was 86. Yeah, it is. And then I would add the February to that. And then I got 167. Now to get the March, I would add the March total, and that's how I got that number. Does that help?
Yeah, okay. I was talking about the approximation, the linear approximation.
Yeah, and then so the approximation, let's just say there's different ways to do it. Let's say the data is going to be, it's actually going to be pretty close to it. It's going to be better data than let's say
Right.
This is January. And
That's what was confusing me because it's such a straight line.
Yeah. And so what some people did, there's all different kinds of ways to do this. What some people did was, sorry, I was trying to move something out of the way. Oops. Here we go. Somebody called me from another room, and I'll probably go back there in a second. Let me get that out of my screen. Okay. So what some people did is just took 2 points on the line, any 2 points, because they figured out, and they figured that would be a good approximation. So then they put the line through 2 of the points since it was so straight, and then figured out the equation. Does that make sense? Yeah. And there's different ways to do it, but that seems to be the simplest. You just picked, you kind of eyeball where the line should be, and you figure out, okay, now which 2 points are going to get me closest to that? And then now you have 2 data points, and you can figure out the line. That's helpful. That's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I got a question from another room, so I can come back, and Stone, I can come back and talk to you too. I have a feeling that people are probably getting ready to leave. Okay, so I'm gonna go check that out. Okay. See you in a minute.
Yep.
Hi. Oops. No, I'm not muted. Yeah, I saw there was a question, or somebody called me.
Yeah, so I think most of us have finished, at least I have. Do you want us to stay?
No,
or-
I kind of talked about, I don't have anything I think I need to bring back. I just want to make
Okay.
sure, do you understand, for the second question about the range, what was your answer to that?
Well, the range depends on the C value, or like the y-intercept, essentially.
You mean
kind of.
do you mean the K?
Yeah, the K. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be different for every graph, and it's either everything above K if the graph goes up, or everything below K if it opens down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure.
Cool.
That was the one thing I didn't really talk about on the video, but okay. Yeah. So you're free to go whenever, because I didn't have any reason to bring everybody back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Professor.
Good. And
Thank you.
See you later. Yep. Bye-bye. And if you have questions about anything else, you can stick around. Okay, I'm going to go visit another room. So, yep. Okay. Muted. Hey, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I actually got kicked out of the breakout room.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, how are people doing? Are they mostly done? Are pretty close?
Yeah. When I checked to go like at least 10 minutes ago, most people were on like almost like the last question.
Right. And did they have any questions about anything that they weren't able to work out?
A couple of people had questions on 6. A couple of people got confused the negative numbers on 6b, but other than that, there wasn't anything too significant.
Yeah, those are the questions I've had, and they figured out the range. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. Okay, good. So if you go back to a group, then you can, you can just tell them that when they're done, they can go.
Yeah. You have to add me to a group.
Okay. Which one do you want to go to? Does it matter?
It does not matter too much to me.
I'll put you in number 8 just for the sake of that.
Okay.
Okay. See you, Sam.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Professor. I had a few. My group was the group that wanted to meet with you about our project.
Right. Are you with Brandon?
Yeah. Yes.
Why don't I put you in that group with him?
Okay.
Stone is in there too, and I'm going to bring Stone out. That way I can meet with you later. Does that work?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to make sure everybody has questions that aren't. Okay. So I'll put you, let's see. Oh, what group are you in? Doesn't have you.
I left the group. I didn't know where we were all going to meet. So I was like, hey, are we all coming back to the main group? Are we meeting like another meeting?
For some reason, it's not. Oh, I know what happened. No, maybe not. No. It's not letting me put you anywhere. It should. But what I'm going to do then is, let me see if I can do it over here.
Do you want me to rejoin my breakout room?
No, what I'm going to do is I'll bring Brandon out here.
Okay.
Okay. Brendan, not Brandon. Yep. Okay, good. Okay. Hey, Brendan, Sammy's in the main group and I can't move her. So why don't you, you can quit the group, go back to the main group. She's the only one in there. And then you can, if she wanted to meet with you, I couldn't bring her into this group. So if you just go to the main, if you just leave this group, you'll see her out there. She's the only person that's out there.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'll talk to Stone for a sec. Okay, good.
Oh, I only have one quick thing. I just wanted to warn you, my graphs, I don't think transferred over 100% correctly.
Okay.
Looking back at it, but you'll still get the point of them. They still have all the information on them, but I just don't know if they transferred exactly how you wanted them to.
Yeah, I found out some more information, and CC was in your group, right?
Correct. Yep.
And she quit the class. She dropped out of the class.
Oh, did she? Okay.
I think one other group member said that they were expecting her to hand it in. Does that sound familiar to you?
Well, okay. Well, CC, the first day she said she made like the top initial
right
of our years and our 3 months for our first question, just the initial table on it, and then she kind of said that she was trying to put information in there the first day. I was wondering where she went because she just stopped one day, and I was like, huh, okay.
I think that because one of the people said that really messed. People need to do what you do, which is take responsibility, and I really appreciate you did that and contacted me. But so I'm willing to. Here's what I'm thinking about doing is I think that might have messed everything up, and then I'm gonna if I can get the group together to work again, and you can have them some people had questions. Some people completely blew because they didn't understand what I was asking, and so I'm giving them a chance to redo it. I can give your group that same chance without a penalty.
Okay.
Now that I understand, if I can convene everybody together now that I understand better what's going on, would that work?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay,
that would
good.
be perfect. Trinity did start. She went in there today and went on it. So
So how about that? How about I'll email everybody after class, and I can't remember who the third person in your group is.
Isaac Wentz.
Isaac, right? If I see him, I'll let him know. And then, to
Sounds
me,
good.
that seems to be the best thing because I think I didn't even anticipate. I just figured CC because it happened after the things were due, and so like
Right.
I should have figured out that I should have gone back and double checked with the group, but I think that messed everybody up. So
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
okay, so I'll be in touch via email. Then we can figure.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
Yep. You too. Have a good one.
You too, Stone. Bye bye.
I doubt it.
Hey Quinn. Hey everybody. Are you done?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to call people back today because we did that introduction at the beginning. So if you have no questions, I have one quick question for you. But if you're done, if you feel you're done and have no questions, you can leave. The question I have is the question about the range. Did I ask you all that?
Range?
I don't think so.
Well, I think that was number 2. Maybe you had to find the range of the quadratic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you approach that?
If the quadratic opens upwards, the range is y is greater than or equal to k, and if it opens downwards, y is less than or equal to k.
Exactly. That's what I hadn't gone over that in the video. It was one of those things I was hoping you'd figure out today, so you got it. I just wanted to make sure.
Super.
Okay. So you're free to go.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so
Alexander.
much.
Okay. Have a good
See
afternoon.
you Thursday.
See you all Thursday. Yep. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye everyone.
Like, well, no, I don't know because he said there was multiple ways to do it. So you just draw a line and like guess the points. But on Desmos, you have to have an equation. And we never went over that equation to solve because Desmos doesn't just let you draw a line. And if it does, I have no idea how. So.
Can I jump in for a sec and help?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
So here's what I'm thinking of. Are you talking about the cumulative or are you talking about early? For drawing the line for the data?
For like, I think it was like, I gotta pull it up. Hold on. Yeah. I'm bad. I gotta see stuff. So, I think it was like, for like, which one did you say needed worked on? For the, mine's number 2.
Okay. So 2 is going to look like this. The data is going to be kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
And there's different ways to approach this. And so I'm going to give you a couple. I'm going to use a different color for my line.
Okay, cool.
So let's say my data is like that. One approach is to just take 2 points, which you think might represent the data, and draw.
Okay.
And then since you have 2 points on a line, you can figure out the equation.
Okay.
Now, what other people did is and try to figure out which 2 points best represented. You could also just do like this, draw a line by hand, and then estimate what it would be. That's harder.
Yeah, I tried that the first time and it didn't go well.
Right.
So I tried Desmos the second time.
And Desmos doesn't have that facility.
No, it does not, which is sad.
It doesn't do stats, and this is a statistical question. And so that's why I haven't gone into it in detail. There's all kinds of different ways to approach this. And we may come back to it later. And I anticipated people having questions and we'd talk about it like we're doing now. So I think the best approach and the one that seemed most successful was just to pick a couple of points and then use that that you think are the best one.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I needed to, it was just my line, based on what I was looking at, it was just my line of approximation that looked wrong. Or do I need to redo my data based on my number 1?
Oh, I would have to look at your submission, which I can do later.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure that I get to other people in the class about class problems. But I'm glad so I can do that later. I have a feeling that most people are done, and then I could probably come back in 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Okay. And there's Isabel coming out. So, okay. Hi, Isabel. Is your group done? Or maybe okay. I'm not sure if she can hear me. If she comes and if she's done, you can tell her she's free to go. I'm going to go visit some other groups. So I'm going to unshare. Does that make sense though, what I said? just checking in to see how everybody's doing.
I'm struggling on 6.
On 6, okay. So let me help you with that.
I've gotten as far, at least I think I've gotten as far to try to set up the parabola with, like, using Vertex form.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Okay.
And I just wasn't sure where to put the y-intercept or like how to incorporate that into the equation.
I'm doing A, okay? Is that,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. That's like,
I can't remember what H and K are.
I thought that was the x and y coordinates.
No, I just can't remember the numbers that I
Oh.
said. Oh, here it is.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3.
Obviously.
I have to go find the whiteboard again, and hopefully it's here. Yeah, okay, good. So you plug those in?
Yeah, but then I couldn't figure out how to plug in the y-intercept, so that's as far as I am.
Okay. But did you get this far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you have the y-intercept is 0, 0, 1. Excuse me. And it doesn't have to be a y-intercept. It just happens to be. So there's my y-coordinate. I can plug that in here.
Okay.
And I can plug my x-coordinate in here. And then I get this equation.
Is it 1 or is it 2?
It's 0, 2, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I was looking, yeah, I don't know why it said 0.
I'm wondering that. Okay, so that looks like.
So now I plug those points in and I get 0 minus 2, which is minus 2. See how I got that?
Yeah.
Okay. And can I solve for A here?
It's the only variable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I write it out, I get 2, I square minus 2, I get 4. And now I can solve for A.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That would look like.
And I think I got A is minus 1/4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not coming out too.
And then for the second problem, it's just the same procedure.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. I feel like I can do the second.
So that was a really good instinct. And then what I was thinking is you'd look here and say, oh, that's a lot of letters, but then you'd say, oh, I can get rid of X and Y. And now you know how to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay, good. And you're free to go when you're done, you're free to go.
Would you follow the same steps for part B of 6?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. So I was going to stop the share, and then I'm going to go talk to some other groups, and let me know if you have other questions. I'll be back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Tomorrow?
Well, hold on. Let me see when I have class tomorrow. Yeah, I think tomorrow we should meet during his office hours because his office hours are like 2 to like 3:30. And actually, all 3 of us go over it and then go from there. Would that work for your schedule or no?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. So
squared to get y to equal 0 plus 2. So then it's a 2 over there, and what would we put? -1 plus 2 is +1 squared. It's just 1. And if y is 2, then you just have to multiply it by 2. That's a little wordy.
Which one are you working on?
Can you explain 6B?
Yeah, it's almost like 6A. So I'm going to do a screen share.
I'm doing a bad job of explaining it.
Did you get 6A?
For 6A, I got Well, I don't know. I'm pretty slow. So for six, for 6a, I got fx equals -1/4, and then like the parentheses has x minus 2, then plus 3.
You got it. Okay.
I don't know how I'm getting the other one wrong, so I don't know.
So, okay, so we'll start out with -2, 2. So we know that h and k is -2, -2. Right? Yeah, okay, good. So make sure I'm reading it right. I don't have the eyes that you all have anymore. Okay. So I plug that in. For h is -2 and k is -2. So I get this is equal to a, x minus -2, because h is -2. And then k is -2. So it's going to be -2.
That was my mistake. I put it was -2 and 2.
Yeah. That,
Um,
well, it's good that you figured out what your mistake is. And that's why I like mistakes like that, because you can figure them out and then you know what you're doing. Okay. Do you know what to do from here? We have this point xy, which is -1, 0.
No, that's fine. You can continue. I like to see it, come through.
I thought the easiest way would be to move that -2 over to the y side when you plug in the -1, 0. So then you just have 2 equals a times x plus 2 squared.
You can do it that way.
I just thought that was easiest, but.
So this is an x coordinate, so I plug it in for x, and this is a y coordinate, so I plug it in for y. And then let's say I brought that 2 over, so I would be solving this. Now I can just plug in x and y. That point that I gave. So x is -1. Sorry, I forgot the square. And I'm going to square that. And then I have y, which is 0, -2.
It'd be plus 2.
Y. Oh, yes, you're right. I had 2 to both sides. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Glad. Okay. So then I get from here, I get 2 is equal to a, and then it's 1 squared. Because -1 plus 2 is just 1. So I get 2 is equal to a. And then I just plug that 2 back into here. So, oh, sorry about that. So my answer then would be y equals 2. Plugging that into there, x plus 2 squared -2. I should let you do it, sorry, but. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so are you going to work, have you done number 7, you're going to work on that now?
No, I haven't done number 7 yet, so yeah, I'm gonna continue.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll be around. I can check in again. Okay. Any questions before I go?
I don't think so.
I think all the other groups are empty.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I think so. Okay, but I can. Yeah. Okay. I'll let you work on that, and I'll check back in. Okay. Okay. See you later. Sam, if you need to go to class, I can take over.
Oh no, I mean I really don't need to. I'm fine. What
Okay.
time is it? Oh, it's 52.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was 40. Okay, I'll head out.
Okay. And I'll just stay here, and then I won't say anything. But if you have questions, just let me know. Okay. I'll be happy
Okay.
to.
See you
Yeah.
Thursday.
I'll see you, Sam. Thank you for your help.
Yep.
Are we meeting back in the main classroom today or no?
No, because I kind of did that stuff at the beginning, and it seems everybody seemed to have been, the thing I was going to follow up on was on the range, which when you're done, I'll just ask you a question about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to pause my video, but if you have any questions, just shout out and I'll come join you.